So was the hell no like he was like stepping in for you or was talking shit?
He ain't about to make no left hand layup. Like hell no, get that shit out of here.
And he made it.
No, he missed it. So I'm like, God, what the? Hey, he made those, bro.
Welcome back, man. It's another Monday, another episode. Comedian Mike Murphy, my main man on the ground.
John Grimes.
What's up, bro?
Man, a lot of crazy shit going on right now.
Talk on. What's up?
You catching the news, dog?
I seen something I was gonna bring up, but I'll let you go first because I always started off.
I just can't get over all these planes. Like the plane that was upside down in Canada threw me off.
Yeah, that's crazy. So initially, I'm like, so I think two things are true at once. I think there is like a slightly increased in like incidents, but I think they're reporting everything now.
Yeah, everything's getting reported.
Because
I am surprised about the major airlines that are a part of it. Usually it's like small planes or like
Pioneer
private,
or some shit.
But
JetBlue.
for it to be American and then Delta, I was like, damn. And the only thing that made me think about is that Spirit really be low key out here.
I swear to God, I seen one of the comments like, I ain't judging nobody, but you don't hear none of this about Spirit.
Like my joke I always end it with, you'll get there. And I'm like, yo, low key, Spirit, that is a slogan. Like, you'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get
It's
there.
not going to be enjoyable.
Yeah, but like,
we guarantee
we getting people where they go. And it's like, that's insane, but that makes sense, man.
The report came out and said, so far this year there have been 87 airline accidents, right?
Yeah. I
knew immediately that was misleading because, well, I don't say I knew it was misleading, but I said, what are they categorizing as an airline accident? Because anybody who sees that thinks 87 plane crashes.
Right.
It's not. It's
a tire. What?
Somebody fell on a tarmac and got hit by one of the luggage carriers.
Wow.
That's an accident. Like, so when they say there's been 87 this year, you know there ain't been 87 plane crashes.
Right.
When they say that, the average person who can't comprehend past the fifth grade level is like, it's Trump's fault he fired all these people. You're like,
well, and nobody's going to actually read the rest of the article.
No, it's just the headline. So I Googled it and said, how many airline incidents happened in 2024? Like 1,197 or some shit like that. 1,100 something high, almost 1,200. Yeah. I said, how many for this year? It says so far 87 was the exact number that they said on the news report, right? And it was like airline incidents aren't always crashes. It could be, and it started naming like things I said, like dude fell off the luggage carrier or whatever.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Tripped and fell and bumped into the side. You know what I mean? Anything that you're doing
airline related
or airline related goes into that category, like to a certain threshold. Mm-hmm. And so they were saying that. So I was like, oh, but this doesn't matter because the average person is like, I seen 87, they mean crashes. And now I don't want to fly no more. But then the other thing too is, and I stopped doing this, trying to argue with people, is like, how many car accidents are every day?
Yeah. I mean, somebody said this, I think one of the airline pilots or like a flight attendant I follow, she's like, it's still technically the safest way to fly or travel.
By far.
Like, I mean, especially compared to cars, Greyhounds, everything else. And I was like, damn, I mean, that is true.
Yeah,
like,
so
no
it's
matter
like,
how we cut and slice it, it's like, if you said 87 accidents in general this year, how many accidents has there been in LA alone?
Just in cars.
This year, right? Like, it's like, damn. Yeah.
There might be 87 in a week.
Maybe trains might have them beat. I don't know. I have to look up the train stats, but like, it's still pretty impressive that. But the way it using it to call out minorities and with like DEI hires, they keep blaming everything on DEI hires. And
well, now they're trying to say it's not their fault because they fired them and now the accidents are happening. Saying like they're short staffed now, so these things are able to slip through the cracks and happen because if they had them, basically let a lot of people go.
Right, they firing left and right.
Yeah, so they're getting rid of niggas.
All
for
kinds
sure.
of gigs. Like,
I don't mean niggas like black people. I'm talking about just
people.
I'm just saying people.
Niggas gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's crazy, but I'm like, if they really wanted you to believe that oh man, we hired all these DEI people and they was ass, it's like, but who hired them? Y'all did. So ain't y'all bad for choosing bad people? You could choose the best of quote unquote diversity if you want to.
Yeah, you could be like, you're diversity, but you're not it.
Yeah, we gotta hire a black dude, but we're not gonna hire a dude with no experience. You still can hire a good person. So blame yourself if your DEI hires are trash.
So I don't know when this, like, from what I understand, the DEI shit is relatively like Biden administration, right?
Allegedly. In the Obama, of course, and then like some of Biden, but like.
So I know years ago, long time ago, like at least 2007.
Well, affirmative action was the old name for it.
Yeah, that was something different, I guess. They're saying it's not the same. Affirmative action, I guess, was strictly for black people. DI is like trans,
women, everything. Huh?
Yeah, women, all that. But I remember my boy Dame. He got a trucking company. That's who put me in the game with trucks back home. I asked him like, "Yo, how'd you get to where you're at now?" Because he was doing pretty good, and he was like, "Because companies they're required by law to give 20% of their business to minority-owned companies, not even just in trucking, just in general." And he was like, "So what they do is, since they got to fill that quota, they kind of don't give a fuck who they give it to. They're gonna give it to the person that makes it easiest on them. So like, let's say I got a business, you got a business, both minority-owned." But to get going through you is a headache, billing all this. They're like, man, we're just not giving it to him. We'll give it to him. We're still meeting a quota. We don't care who gets it. Well, that's 20% we know we can't give to white people. So we'll give it to whoever can get the job done.
That's fine.
And so he was getting all the work because he was basically the only black dude that can meet what they needed. Yo, we need 40 trucks tomorrow. Bet. He didn't have 40 trucks, but he knew someone like me who owned 1 truck, someone like you who owned 2 trucks. He could round us all up and have 40 trucks on a job the next day.
Contracts.
Another dude named Chuck Sanders used to play for the Steelers, actually owned a nightclub in Pittsburgh for a while. He had a company called Urban Lending. It was like a minority-owned company for like mortgages and stuff.
Yeah.
Big, booming. Like he was super rich. Fuck that up. But he said, like, I thrive because they got to give 20% away. And they basically know who I am, so they just give it all. They give me all 20%. They're not splitting that up.
I don't have a problem with that requirement of the 20% rule because that means that they would have originally went all 100% all white.
Yeah.
And the government's like, dog, that's so unfair. Could you at least give somebody else a contract so it won't look so obvious? And they're like, fine, I'll do 8 white, 2 black. And they're like, deal. We'll cut a deal there. And it's like, you don't see the problem with that? That before they were required to do it, they just went all white. And you don't even know if the other all white is good. You just knew that I'm giving money to my buddies. I like that guy. Most jobs you get are because you're just cool to work with.
Yeah, and
it ain't got nothing to do with skill. The skill is like this much required for most things. Everything else is like, who do you want to talk to all day long?
Yeah, who
do you want to interact with?
Bro, Kevin Hart said this before. He said in Hollywood, it's not even about the talent all the time. It's like, yo, that guy's easy to work with. He's likable. That's why, like, you could say Kevin Hart's not funny. You could say he's cringy. Whatever you want to say. I'm not saying none of that because I like Kev a lot. Like, I think he's hilarious. Kev is one of the most likable people that you could ever meet. And that's going to go farther than any ha you can tell. And that's with any job.
He's a fun guy. And he will beat you because he's a fun guy that shows up.
And bust his ass too.
Not only is he a good hang and what they say, like, you know, I can deal with working with that guy, things like that. He going to outwork you and out-present you.
Exactly.
Like Kev shows up. So, like, even if there was a close tie about who you wanted for the gig, you rely and trust the guy. That's the tiebreaker every time.
Every time, like this guy works.
Rely on him, and he's a good hang. There's a lot to learn from Kevin Hart, which is not just stand up. I think that's why he has so many like things he tries to teach people, and there's a lot to learn from people who are successful. Even LeBron, yes, he works hard, but he don't get to run. He ain't called lead GM for a reason. Like he is cool with front office leadership. He knows how to talk to them and convince them of the moves to make.
His influence plays a role.
This is how I want to work. I think he traded for Luka.
You think so?
Whatever get me to not believe it. He traded for Luka all day. I don't want to end my career here, the Lakers. I'm gonna give y'all a gift. Yes, I made y'all draft my son, but I'm gonna get Luka for you.
So, ooh, that's a good perspective. Hold that thought, and I'm gonna get back to that. So back to the DI shit, right? As soon as Trump started doing that. Now, this is an unpopular opinion. I don't really think Trump is racist. I think he's classist, and I think he's
elitist, yeah.
Unhinged. But as soon as he was saying he was pulling back the DI shit, I said, oh, he's coming after the other community, gays and trans. I'm like, that's who he's going after because I know that DI shit is benefiting them more because no matter what your job is, what you're required to do, if you don't want to hire no niggas, you're not going to hire no niggas. Or you're going to hire a nigga that lets you say nigga in front of them. You know what I'm saying? We all know the niggas that hang at the Comedy Store. You're going to hire them because they're in the, you know what I mean? You're not going to hire Dr. Umar. So I knew that DI shit wasn't going to affect black people the most. And then someone came out and was like, 4% of DI hires are black people. The other 96 are white women, gays, trans. Like, so I was like, see?
All that means is that all them white dudes in the boardroom are tired of having to watch what they say.
Exactly.
They would almost go, I'd rather have a nigger in here than have a woman in here judging me, some 25-year-old white girl. Like, that's not appropriate, Aaron. And you're like, oh my.
Think about
Why
this.
Did we hire this
Us
bitch?
as men, right? You know how we talk in barbershops, how we talk more amongst ourselves. Imagine you running a company and you hire a white millennial. It's like, you ever see that movie with Bill Burr? It's called like Tough Dads or Hard Dads or something. When they get fired because they're talking about something inappropriate in a rental car.
Right.
Imagine you hire someone like that and they're coming to work like, hey guys, let's not say this. You're like, yo, but the black dude come in and be like, yo, this motherfucker, and say something, you be like, nah, I can fuck with this. He might be a nigga, but he's a man and we can talk about the same things. Right. I'd rather have that. So once Trump repealed all that, I was like, I know who this is going to affect.
I mean, his locker, didn't he describe the pussy line as locker room talk?
Yeah,
that's his
water cooler talk.
Bro. Like, he's been in charge of rooms and talking the shit he wanted to talk in boardrooms for 30 plus years. You think he don't have a couple of guys in other businesses like, yo, man, can we get back to
being us,
being us? Boardrooms? That nigga is running everything back, bro. And my only part that I always get envious is that Obama didn't nig it up like this the last 2 years even. I didn't even know executive orders ran like that until Trump came in and started doing them shit left and right. I was like, you can do that?
I seen a comedian.
Obama should have ran them bitches up the last 5 days or something.
I seen a comedian. I don't know if it was online or if I seen him in person recently, like this week. It was like, I know other presidents is like, nigga, I didn't even know I could do that shit. Like, I wish I would have knew that shit. I would have been getting
signing shit. I'm like, is that a new law he made up? You know what?
Because the reason we know that now is because he doesn't give a fuck about appearance.
You can't do shit. It's like, what
Obama's
really
like,
do?
I can do this, but how will it make me look? It might tarnish my reputation.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do that. Trump don't give a fuck. He's Trump like, bang.
He making politicians look outdated as fuck. He's like, what was y'all doing the last 200 years? Y'all could have been did all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was in the Army, right? So when we were in the Army, like I joined the Army 2002. When I came in, it was don't ask, don't tell.
Right.
And that was kind of like a lighter version of what it used to be. It used to be if they found out you were gay, lesbian, trans wasn't even a thing. Like that, you couldn't even say that. You know what I mean? Like no one was even talking about that. It was either gay or lesbian. If they found out, if you try to hide it and they found out, you're out of the military. And then it became like the liquor, like the 40 in a brown bag. Don't ask, we don't tell. We won't ask you, you don't tell us, turn a blind eye. If you're doing it, do it don't let us know. That's how it was. Then it became, you could be openly gay. You seen dudes in uniform doing TikToks wearing full face of makeup, completely violating the AR-670-1, which is the guide on like your uniform and how you're supposed to present yourself. Like that's the regulation that tells you what's haircut got to be this, beard got to be this, uniform got to be this. They're violating that on TikTok, making dances, making the country look crazy.
This
is our military.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
And they're just like, our hands are tied because the current administration is saying we have to let this happen. Then trans came, and it was still you couldn't be trans. It went from openly gay, cool, but no, not trans. Then it became do what you want. As soon as Trump came in office, the Army made a statement like, now we stopping all surgeries. Because in the Army, a lot of people, well, not even just the Army, the military, people don't know this. If you are in the military and you go to the doctor and be like, my breasts are small, it's affecting my mental health, like, I want to hurt myself. I can't. I'm depressed. They will pay for surgery to get you fake titties, or get a BBL or what, like that wasn't out really when I was in. But any cosmetic surgery, if you could convince them that it was affecting how you felt about yourself.
Wow.
So I'm assuming when trans people were saying I feel like this, they were taking care of those surgeries too. Trump came in, nah, boy or girl, no gay shit, none of that. Army came out with a new mission statement and the recruiting video. They showed one from before. It was like, we're all in this together. Go Army. And then it's another dude deadlifting like 500 pounds, like, go Army. Like some strict to the point, like, yeah. And that's their new recruiting video. It's like, yo, what the like, the Army basically is at the beck and call of the president because he's the top dog.
Right, and who funds the Army? He has to sign off on that, right?
Yeah, so when Biden's in, Kamala and them's running it, they're telling the Army, you can let all these people do what they want. The Army don't want that to be that way because we have an image of a whole. Trump came in like, did it. We doing this now. Oh. And now it's all new shit. Like, matter of fact, if I remember, I will remember it. When I edit this video, the podcast, I'm going to put up the recruitment video. I'm going to pause the podcast, put up the recruitment video, and I'm going to put up the statement from the military or whatever. And that's vastly different from when just a year ago.
The Army just released a short new recruitment ad, stark comparison, where you've got an old Army recruitment ad. So we'll play them both. First, here's the old woke one.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom.
Here is the ad, very short ad that the Army just released.
Stronger people are harder to kill.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So everything is changing, and I'll say this, and we can go back to the Luka thing. It's hard to be, like, I don't care if you want to be gay, trans, whatever. Like, I just don't think you should be pushing that on other people, right? Just like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to work like, hey, man, I'm Mike, I'm heterosexual. But I don't give a fuck. Why are you telling me that? You know what I mean? So we don't care about that. The only problem I have is when you have someone like Trump, if you're like cheering for him because he's getting rid of all this trans, all these different gender things, you're like, hell yeah, I'm with that. But most of the people that think like that think like segregation, nigger. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like, if you're rooting for that, it may be inadvertently harming you as well if
Tying
you're black.
while we're at it.
While we're at it, nigga, you can go too.
There's a
You're
lot
like,
of black people.
oh shit, no, just them.
Exactly.
So it's like, you can't be progressive and conservative
Absolutely.
if you're black.
They're just inching it. Whatever they want to start with first is like, yeah, let's get rid of all these people that think like this or act like this or look like this. Yeah. And we had throwing these people too. And everybody keep going, yeah, throwing them too.
Yeah, add
throwing
on.
them too. Ain't nobody left but us and black people. You're like, yeah. Wait, what that mean? Why you say it like that? Saying we missed the good old days. What good old days? All right. You look around, brother. It's like, oh shit, they got us.
We got
like,
whites only pie here.
Bro, like you don't know how much it could inch if you keep letting it inch. So everybody gotta stay protected, or it could go bad.
It's like you got to be an ally for the shit that you may disagree with. But then it's like, yo, when it's us, because if they're against that, they're probably against this.
Exactly. There's no way they're like, I can't stand the LGBT, but black's all right. It's like, no.
Nah.
The actions stay the same for
Once
all the
they check that bullet point off, they move right on to the next agenda, which is us.
Who's that? Where the Asians at? I've been wanting to get them Asians.
They try to get Mexicans out of here. Think about it. It's the gay and trans.
It's going to be
Mexicans.
in order.
Who's next? Niggas. So
niggas last.
Yeah, so
they go niggas like, because that's just, it's a romance of hate between black and white people. So they got to say that shit for last. They gonna get everybody else. They gonna like, it's just me and you again.
Just the entertainment value keeps us safe a little bit.
Exactly. Like, ooh, wow.
It's like if you play chess, it's like, I can't take this motherfucker's queen because then
absolutely
he gonna put me in check, but I want to take this motherfucker.
Race in America will always be black and white. Like, it does not matter how many years pass by. It is a black and white thing. Like, it's like from my experience of growing up in Missouri, coming out to LA, it don't matter. Every other race here, get in where you fit in. It's all good. But when it comes to like pure beef, there's only one. It's black and white. Everything else is just,
it's like a
subplots. Like, but the true war, Capulets and the Montagues, whatever it is, like black and white beef is how this country stays afloat, stays hateful, stays.
It's
prideful,
just rooted in our core.
Exactly. If you watch any finals or anything, it will never be a Asian guy and a Mexican dude for a championship game being watched on TV. No sport, nothing will. They're like, that's not gonna make us no money. We need either white versus white or white versus black. White versus black, preferably. There's not been a single sport where a white versus black championship didn't generate the most interest.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire. Sammy Sosa's Dominican, but he's a nigga. He's a nigga.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
Barry Bonds
versus Magic.
Bird versus Magic.
Caitlin Clark versus
Angel Reese.
LSU and
Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury.
Even Canelo looked white enough against Mayweather. They was like, well, maybe a Ricky Hatton versus. They wanted that white boy to beat Mayweather.
Drago versus fucking Apollo Creed.
That shit sell. Ivan Drago said that reset.
That was the OG shit.
That reset the race war.
That was the OG shit.
Boy, was he Russian or German?
Yeah, he was Russian, dog.
They was like, hell.
If he dies, he dies.
Rocky, like, oh yeah, Rocky, man. Rocky beat a black dude too, right?
He beat Apollo.
Bro. Like, even Eddie Murphy.
Then they got cool.
Eddie Murphy
then he let Apollo get killed in the ring.
And Eddie Murphy was like, yeah, Rocky got niggas white people think they can beat niggas now. Yeah, Rocco. Yeah, all you do is hit him in the face. Bro, that's one of the favorite jokes by Eddie Murphy, bro. The niggas got there watching Rocky, started talking crazy to me.
Oh, yeah. So,
Race,
back to you saying about the LeBron shit, right? You just said something that really triggered me. It was like, what if it was like an Illuminati deal? Like, we'll give you Bronny, but you got to deliver us AD. Like, we'll give you riches, but you got to sacrifice your son, nigga. Like,
bro, like, you got to do something. There's no way you can pull off a Luka deal with the way, what was it, the GM name of the Lakers? What's his name? Because he done hit, like,
I don't fucking know.
His last time was getting LeBron. That was his last big deal. That was, like, kind of Magic and him. But it's not Mitch Kupchak. It's, I don't know. That's how crazy it is. But, like,
it ain't one of the buses, right?
No, bus. And then the guy that used to be Kobe's agent turned into the GM. I can't think of his name, but like he been swinging and missing. They got AD. The last big trade was the AD trade for like all the young Lakers. And then after that, it was like, all right, what you did last?
Rob Pelinka.
Pelinka, yeah. So I'm like, Pelinka been swinging and missing for a little while now. But to pull off Luka is like, and to the Lakers, if Dallas want to get rid of Luka that bad, they're gonna trade you. They're gonna trade you to the other conference.
To the East.
They're gonna trade you to the West and to the most prominent franchise in the league.
No,
like the math ain't math in there. So
I don't know what happened with that, but the Steelers robbed the Bears 2 years in a row with Justin Fields.
The rich get richer, bro.
And then the one before that, I forget who it was, but I remember 2 years in a row was like, here's nothing, give us your best.
The rich get richer, man. I don't know. Something's up. Either LeBron is leaving this year, or
but you think he certainly had his hand in that, or was aware of it.
LeBron knew that trade. There's no way you surprise LeBron.
But do you think he made it happen, like in exchange for like the Bronny thing, or that's just us chatting shit, or like they were like, hey, this is what we got to do. We need you to sit the fuck down.
The Bronny thing was maybe so crazy to the league and to like everybody that he's like, don't worry, we'll figure out something to make this all make sense. Get y'all off of this. Like, don't worry about us.
To hush the fans up.
Like I got y'all franchise for the next 10 years now. Here, you're welcome. Because the dude do make all the deals, bro. Like he ain't that single deal that he gets. Why would you get rid of your starting power forward that got you a ring unless you thought to yourself, you got something better coming?
You think AD's why they got that ring in the bubble?
Had to be.
Think so? Yeah. I wasn't really watching basketball.
2017, Brown was like the best version of LeBron to me. And they still got swept by the Warriors. They needed a power forward that could AD got the right. He could have got MVP. Like he was so necessary for them to win.
Okay.
Defensively.
Because I didn't really watch it, so I had no
defensively,
clue.
AD was a huge part of it. And it just wasn't working anymore. The trade was like 2 years too late, honestly. They should have traded 2 years ago. But like to get Luka, crazy deal. But yeah, I think LeBron knows every single trade that's happening.
Yeah, I think so. And I think even if, let's just say, they did him the solid, because he's 1,000% responsible for Bronny coming to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then Bronny did so poorly that LeBron couldn't contest them, sending them back down to the South Bay team, the G League team.
Right,
he was like,
get more reps.
Come on, bro. You need, I think even as a father, I don't care. You already made history.
I personally think that the deal was made when he came to LA. Like,
if I
come to LA, y'all gotta draft my son in 6 years. I think that was the original
Maybe it was
deal.
part
I'll
of
get you a ring, but you gotta give me. If I get y'all a ring, y'all gotta draft my son.
Yeah, maybe it was part
That's
of
the handshake deal.
we're talking about it, and then it's starting to really come up. Like, hey, let's go.
Hey, when Magic came to his house to get him to come to LA in Brentwood, that I guarantee you, he's like, I got movie deals, I got everything. I'm gonna get y'all a ring, but you gotta do me this: draft Bronny. Don't sign him, draft him.
And I think he couldn't contest them sending him back. But he's even as a dad, he probably was like, he needs to go get some more reps.
You need the reps because he only did 1 year of college and 9 games.
And he almost died in college.
Yeah, like he needed he needed more reps in general to play against grown men. Do I think that he could play in the NBA? I do, because 2 reasons. One, at DNA. Like, if that's your daddy, you gonna run, you fast.
It just might take a while to click.
Yeah, you gonna figure it all out. That's reason one, DNA. Second reason is Giannis' brother. Which means if a player that's athletic can be in the league, then a player that's athletic can be in the league. So I don't know how impactful you'll be, but if you can get in the league and be
Is he still in the league?
No, now he's out.
Yeah, I thought.
But he got at least 3 or 4 years out of it.
Yeah, I think, honestly, with Bronny, and this is, I seen him play in Sierra Canyon. He wasn't even a starter because it was COVID year. And that was I wanted to see them play at Pepperdine out in Malibu. It was like some state playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the last game. Then COVID happened the next week. He didn't even start. And I remember thinking, like, he don't start. They're like, nah, he's not better than no one on the starting team. And then I was like, okay, so I never seen him play in high school. Well, see, he got in a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't never watch USC ball, so I never seen him. So I don't know his talent, but I think the biggest thing that's hurting him is the pressure of them comparing him to his dad.
I'll tell you the bigger pressure. Not the pressure comparing him to his dad. I think he already knows that I cannot be the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah, it's not never.
Not at 6'2" or 6'3". He's not going to get it.
No.
So you can accept that relatively early. Here's what the problem is. Bronny is not the best player he can be because his daddy is still at work.
Oh, he's not LeVar Ball.
Bro, he's not Dale Curry. Dale Curry played 9 years and went back home to his family and his 2 sons, which were about 8 or 9 at the time.
Steph's little brother playing in the league too, right?
Exactly, Seth. He's still in the league right now. Dale Curry had to work with his son for a whole summer to fix his shot when Steph was 14 years old. What kind of dad got enough time to be at home for all summer to fix his son's shot before he go to high school?
Stay at home dad.
That ain't in the NBA no more. Stay at home dad or retired NBA player.
Yeah.
You cannot be an active NBA player and make your kids the best you possibly can. There are no other active NBA players that can have their kid be the best hooper in the country. But you're going to find, like, look at Melo's son.
Gilbert Arenas.
Keon's son, nasty. Gilbert's son, nasty. LeBron had his son when he was young. So there was no possible way he could have been around enough to make him the killer. The second part about being a killer in basketball is that, and I'm learning this on a very small scale, I just took my son to an AAU game over in Gardena.
To watch or to play?
He played.
Oh, okay.
But they played against a team like they might have been from Compton, might have been from somewhere in the South Central area.
Watch.
By the family, by the jerseys. I was like, they spelled the letters different of it was a basic letter. They changed the C. And I was like, or they changed the B, one of the two. And I was like, well, you don't need to spell it that way at all, but okay. All right. So, but they was playing and them kids was getting them. And the team my son was on was like a bunch of rich lawyer kids, like rich kids. So he was just coming to help them out. But I saw how those kids was playing. I said, oh, they trying to get out the hood. That's how they playing. They trying to get out the hood. The other kids was playing like
they're starving. Pick and roll,
guys, swing the ball. And my son's a hybrid of like, I mean, I just want to shoot. Fuck y'all. Like that's how my son played.
Yeah.
But the kids on the other side was like, man, pick them niggas up full court. Don't let them walk 2 feet. They was on their ass the whole game. And I'm watching the parents yell, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, you can't teach that. You can't teach hunger. Right?
No, they say the lion at the top of the mountain is not as hungry as the one at the bottom.
Bro, so that's part 2 of being an elite athlete is that how bad do you want it? Right? Are you motivated by the drive to do something for your family that's major and circle your environment? Or are you just strictly motivated based off the way you were brought up, like a Steph or a Michael Jordan, where it's like my daddy just made me good at this and I just stayed good?
Did you see that it's a coach or maybe he's a scout? Black dude, he was talking about how he was like, I want a player that needs this.
Deion Sanders said that.
No, this was some other dude. He was like, there's players that'll be like, I'll work out because you telling me to come work out. He's like, but there's people that you ain't got to say nothing to them. You go to the house, they're working out because this is all they like. He's like, there's a difference between someone who needs this and someone who wants it. He said, when I go scout players, I find the players that need this.
Okay.
Because basically their back's against the wall. Like, they know this is all I got. Okay. Someone who wants it, my dad's rich or whatever, is like, I'll be okay. Them niggas like, yo, we don't eat sometimes. I gotta get this left. Gotta be nice. Like
Deion Sanders said, I go to kids' houses, I look around, and that's like, okay, yeah, he gonna be good. Like if I go to his house, ain't nothing there. He's like, he gonna be nice.
But this dude's like a scout, older black dude, probably right around Deion's age.
Yeah.
And the video went viral for a while. I'm gonna try to find it. But he basically just saying like, there's kids who want it and there's kids who need it.
I think so here's the thing about like that aspect of it will make a kid hungrier, right?
Yeah.
But I think the most dangerous player is the player who doesn't need it, but just wants to win and wants to be really good. That's the Tom Brady's, the Stephs, the Kobe's, the MJ's. Like they were brought up with not poor. They just was built in them that, hey, if you're going to be it, go be the best at it. And them kids, the guys, the ones that have the solid foundation and a strong father figure, check their finals records, check their championship records. And you'd be like, dang, them niggas did not lose when it mattered the most because they were the most solid. When you won it based off of desire and like trying to get out, once you make it to the NBA, you go, oh, well, we're here now. I can relax a little bit. Even Kobe said in his first year in the league, he said, when I found out dudes wanted to make it to the NBA just to get money, I said, oh, I'm about to win a bunch of rings. That's why I texted MJ the next day. I said, man, that's why you won so much. These dudes just make money.
And I was about to say that, and I was I was about to disagree with you and saying, no, the person who needs it, but then once they don't need it, what's there?
What's your motivation?
What's left now after that's like, well, I'm rich now. I don't care.
That's why Thomas Brady was like, I just was trained to be good at this, and I just want to keep winning.
The stars of this generation coming up, Shane Gillis, whatever his name is, them people his age, right?
Yeah.
20-something. The person that will succeed and coming behind them, the younger ones, the ones that will do the best are the ones who want it despite they have the Kobe mentality.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the fake, like, oh, Mamba mentality, some cool shit you say. Like you said, the people that's like, I don't need this shit. I want this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you see, and B talking about I'm not playing back-to-back games. What the fuck are you talking about? Can you imagine? That's why the talent, I think, is better this generation than Jordan's generation.
Mentality,
but the tenacity was way crazier. So I think that balances it out.
80s and 90s players were playing for $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. So they were like, yeah, of course we wanted it bad. We was trying to. This was good money to us. Now y'all getting $40 million. What can you tell a nigga to make $40 million in a year? How hard he gonna play,
bro? When Bradshaw and them was playing for the Steelers in the 70s, my dad and them told me there was maybe not him, but other players that were starters on the team was still working in the steel mills on throughout the week. Like they had regular jobs, like not during the season, but
I get it.
They were working like in the steel mills and shit because the steel mills pay good money and it was booming. That's what Pittsburgh is known for. But they weren't making enough money to be like, I'm off. Let me train.
Current players right now, they have that same setup of like, I didn't need it, but I got it now, but I still want to like do my thing. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is like that. Yeah. Wembanyama's like that. He's the son of two professional athletes.
Oh,
but he just wants to win because it's like he's competitive. Like he's like, no, I want to beat these Americans. Like I think that's how he really feels. Like I want to show these NBA niggas what's really up. Like I'm the biggest nigga here. I'm trying to run wreck shit. Steph is always gonna be like that because Steph had it. Like he wants another ring. I believe Steph when he's like, no, I want 6. I think he wants 6. I think he want more than LeBron first, but then I think he wants 6. I think
he got 4, right?
4. I think he want to tie Kobe. And I think he want to get LeBron. I think he wants 2 more rings for sure. Like Trae Young, those guys that didn't come from without. They come to the league and be like Jalen Brunson, another cat that's just like
his
my dad was an NBA player. Like
his dad be on his ass.
On his ass. You can see the kids that got that daddy in them, and they be like, that's why I knew LaMelo was gonna be good. I'm like, nigga, his daddy right there every game saying you can't guard my son.
Last season, Brunson was complaining about something. He was like, man, shut the fuck up. Go out there and fucking play. You crying and shit. Dad, he went from the like, oh shit, like his dad's like, I don't even play that shit.
The dad
and that
factor.
was like the, and you said this episodes ago when we first started the pod, you said you could tell the difference when you watch your son's game, the kids whose dads are there and the kids whose moms are there, the talent wise.
Yeah.
It's a whole fucking different, bro. So like my dad, right? He didn't really come to a lot of my games because him and my mom didn't really get along. And he worked a lot. My nephew, my oldest sister's son, he played football, whatever, and he was like, he ended up getting a full ride to play. I think he went to Louisville, but he was good. He played baseball too, sport. He sucked at basketball. My dad would be at his games. The fuck is he could not play well enough for my dad. And I was like, if I would have had that, I would have won even harder. I was good, but I just didn't have the, you know what I mean? My dad wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
I had this conversation like a couple years ago, and one of the dudes was like, dog. The one dude disagreed with me. One dude was like, nah, he telling the truth, man, because I play basketball, and I kid you not, if my dad would have been in my games, I got to the league. Like, he said that mid-conversation. We all was just like, damn. Like, because it's a difference, bro. Like, even when I be on the road, and I'm missing my son's games, my girls just send me all the videos, and like all the, like, I didn't want to FaceTime, honestly, because I be in the hotel just chilling anyway.
Yeah.
Like, turn that shit on live and watch it live, but missing those games to me, and if he plays bad, I always think it's because I ain't there. I ain't there to like do something. Like I couldn't yell at him to make an adjustment.
It might be a different feeling for him. It might be I can miss this. My dad ain't gonna be on my. I ain't gonna hear this nigga's voice yelling. What are you doing?
You can't look into the crowd and you see your dad going, go left. Just let him make you go. Like, cause I heard other dads yelling at their kids when I'm at the game. I'm like, one time I did see a video. Oh, I'll never forget this shit. I seen a video my girl sent me of my son driving left and like throwing up a floater. And he misses, and somebody dad yell, hell no. Nah. And it's insignificant to the video. My girl didn't even mention it. I'm listening to the background audio and I heard somebody go, hell. I'm like, who the fuck just hell no my son? Like, if I was there, you come to a game with me, nigga. I talk shit to everybody's dad.
So was the hell no like he was like stepping in for you or was talking shit?
He ain't about to make no left hand layup. Like, hell no, get that shit out of here.
And he
like,
made it.
No, he missed it. I'm like, dog, what the? Hey, he make those, bro. Cause
man, sit your bitch ass down, nigga.
I'm that dad. Bullshit, you not. Another week I was there. A ref, my son put up for that crazy 3-pointer shit he be doing. 5 feet off the line. Missed the shot. Ref come back and go, hey, young man, don't take those, young man. You can't make that. That's too far for you. I stood up, middle of the game. Hey, don't ignore the ref, Braden. He lying. You can make that shot. Take it again.
Don't let nobody tell you nothing you can't do.
The ref was like, okay, bro. Next Saturday, the following Saturday, same ref there. My son cross half court, cash that bitch. That same ref like this. Wow, that's
put
crazy.
your fucking hands down.
I'm not fucking waiting for my son. Nigga, you just told him that, like, every time somebody tell my son I do something, as soon as he get over to me, I go, do that shit again.
Yo, you
do
see the
every time. Do it
you
again.
see the video? Stephon Marbury telling the ref he was too fat and he was going to tell on him to the PSAL. So I guess the PSAL is the league in New York that like with the refs fall under, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was some bull. Like the ref just wasn't. He's fat. He wasn't running down, so he made a bad call because he couldn't see it because he wasn't where he was supposed to be at. And Stephon is in the, Marbury's in the crowd. He's like, yo, the PSAL is gonna want to know why you're gonna lose some weight. Because you need to be running up and down the court. They see you ain't doing it. You can't do it. You got to ref the game. Everybody's like, oh, and the old black dude was like embarrassed. He wasn't wrong, but he was just like, yo, I'm checking you because you bugging. But it was funny that he said that to the ref mid-game.
Bro, you gotta be there, man. You gotta be. And I'm not saying that these dads ain't there. I'm just saying that the frequency you could be there and every little detail of how presence matters is undeniable.
Oh yeah, facts.
And like even ironically, but like, if I'm not mistaken, LeBron's dad probably wasn't at his games. He still ended up being the coldest player, one of the coldest players ever. Durant, those guys like that, where like if they say like, oh man, my dad might not show up to a lot of my games. Imagine how much colder they would have been. Imagine if LeVar Ball was LeBron's dad. That kind of confidence, and this is my son. They wouldn't know what to do with all. They'd be like, hey, nah, their dad can't be that right, can he? And it's like, nigga, surprise, I'm that right. So imagine even an ounce of that in these already good players. Like
Serena and them's dad.
Serena, bro, the people that really believe in their kids, Serena's dad, Richard Williams, Earl Woods. Earl Woods was telling niggas at 3, this is gonna be the best golfer ever. He was on TV on the Tonight Show or some shit, Ed McMahon show, with a 3-year-old tiger making chip shots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, they call it too soon. They just right.
You ever see the movie Molly's Game with Idris Elba?
Yes.
That was based on a true story. Her dad was the same way.
Really?
She in the beginning, she's skiing. She's like, oh, my back hurts. He was like, oh, okay, like, do it again. And she's like, all right, passed out. She had to get her whole spine
right.
put together. And then they told her, you'll never ski again. She's like, 6 months back, I was on the skis. Then I was in the Olympics. Like, she was like, I want to go home, Dad. I'm tired. He's like, what's another? She was like, do it again. She's like, but I'm tired. And the mom stepped in like, you've been out here, moms, you've been out here all day. And he was like, okay, cool. I'll let you leave. What's another word for tired? She was like, weak. He was like, all right, let's get in the car. She was like, again. And once, nigga, that gave me chills because he was like, what's another word for tired? She was like, weak. He was like, cool, let's get in the car. She was like, again. Went back to the top of the hill like, nigga, you got me fucked up.
Bro.
What were you talking about? She said, I was the 3rd best in my family.
Bro.
My brothers was way better than me.
That's how it be, man. That you need that kind of push to make you who you are.
Swear to God.
And it's cool to watch. I mean, Jamal Murray has a crazy story too. His dad, I think he grew up in Canada. Nigga had him running through the snow at like 7 or 8, just doing crazy military drills as a kid. The same criticism. All these dads got the same criticism. What are you doing? Why are you making your kid do that? This is unfair. And to me, I think LaMelo Ball might have said it when he was younger. He probably didn't realize he said this. He was like, well, yeah, we do all the hard work now so that later.
So it's easier.
It'll be easier later. And I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, how many of y'all honestly would say, yeah, I had a fun childhood, but I guess if I was practicing every day instead, and by 35, I don't have to work anymore. Which one do you want to be? It's like,
bro, it takes a man who's a leader to be like, the dead all the noise. I don't give a fuck what you're criticizing about. I know what's best, and I'm doing this because as fathers, you're a father, I'm a father. If we make a decision and we think or we know in our heart is best for our child, it's a gamble because they may resent you later. You didn't let me have a child. Like I moved my daughter to California. I felt in my heart this was the best thing for her being with me. It didn't matter where we was at. Not saying being in California, but being with me.
Right.
And then when she wanted to go back home, I'm like, damn, did I fuck up? And then now she's back home. She's like, I like being here, but it's not the same.
Right.
Like, it's a difference. But speaking of LeVar Ball, you see they got a foot amputated today?
I did just see that news.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. I don't want to speculate, but foot always makes you think of like diabetes, right?
The sugars.
I used to watch his show all the time on Facebook, and he was like the sweets king. Like, it was like kind of like his thing. He would always say, "Is like,
oh yeah,
yo, give me like 8 cupcakes, blah blah blah." And I think that I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the truth behind it or anything like that, but I just think like it does remind you, like, yo,
you're probably 100% right.
You gotta keep an eye out on that. What do they call it? Pre-diabetic? They call you that. Most black men get that same description on pre-diabetic. Like, what does that mean? Pre-diabetic? Like, nigga, you gonna get it. Is what that means.
Everybody's
like,
pre-diabetic.
Exactly.
You don't got
I
it.
was like, if you black, you either pre-diabetic or pre-high blood pressure.
What's the light-skinned comedian's name? I think he's mixed, but he wears glasses, kind of tall, like kind of nerdy. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He tells a joke about how he used to work at Bed Bath & Beyond. He's at the Comedy Store a lot. Tall, light-skinned dude.
Oh, Eric Griffin.
No.
Light-skinned?
Light-skinned dude.
Glasses?
Hayes Trejo.
Jesus Sepulveda?
No.
Trejo. Jesus Trejo.
No. I'll remember, but
Trejo is one of their last names.
It's something, but he might not be light-skinned, he might be Spanish, whatever.
Yeah.
But
if it's Trejo, yeah, he wears glasses. But maybe I'm not saying his first name now.
Yeah, maybe he's not, but
Trejo, but now
something Trejo. I think that's, but him. He tells his joke where he's basically saying like he went to the doctors and they were like, "Yo, you're pre-diabetic." He was like, "Well, do you have diabetes?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, then I guess you're pre-diabetic too." And he was like, basically, what he's like, the funny thing is like, if you don't got diabetes, we all got to be pre-diabetic. But he's saying like, no, they only use that. Yeah.
Jesus Trejo, yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. I ain't fuck. Yeah, that's him. So I seen an interview, the podcast. What's Jeff Teagan's podcast called?
Club 520, Flight 520, something like that.
Something like that, right? So they had Gillian Wallow on there, right? And Jeff T was telling them a story about how his rookie year, he showed up to the club with a joint, bad joint, hugged up, whatever. And he said Josh Smith, which is ironic because his wife is a fucking porn star. That way, that's Joe
Smith.
Oh, okay. No, I was about to say that.
Josh Smith is the center forward.
So he said Josh Smith was like, tapped him like, yo, nigga, pointed to like 2 or 3 dudes, like they all cracked that. Like, he said he was sitting there with it like fuck, cause he was like, I really liked her, this, that, and the third. He started laughing, and Gilly was making jokes like, you should, oh no, she's different. Like, he was like making jokes, and I thought about this shit. One time, I met this girl, was like, I want to say maybe 2010, I believe, 2010. I meet this girl at a motorcycle like happy hour type thing at the club in Pittsburgh called Questions. It was lit every Friday. They had a happy hour and all the Rough Riders would be down there on the bikes, but everyone would come out, would be booming. And I was down there, I see this joint. I'm like, damn. I asked the girl like, yo, who's your friend? She's like, oh, that's so. I'm like, yo, plug me in. She introduced me to the girl, big ass titties. I'm like, oh yeah, take my number. We exchange numbers. We rapping or whatever. And she's telling, and I kind of know right from the jump that maybe I'm not gonna like cuff her like that. Just because of her, like her living situation. Like her mom was like sick and not even really older, but just like maybe late 50s. But was just, she had to take care of it. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. So one day I pick her up and she's like, we're going on a date. And I take her to see Avatar, the first one. So whatever year Avatar came out, this is when it happened. Because it was the like first or second weekend it was out. We go see Avatar. I'm like, oh, this shit is whack. But it's what she wanted to see. You know, you got to do that.
Of course. We
go to a diner on the south side on Carson. I think it was called Charlie's, or I can't remember. It's closed now. But it was like the old, like, what's the spot next to the Comedy Store that looked like a train car?
Oh, yeah.
It looked like that with the old train car style. Like it's like one of them joints, right? We go in there and shit. Me and her sitting down. All these big ass black niggas is walking up. Oh, what's up, Pam? What's up, Pam? Oh, hey. I'm like, I don't know who they are, you know what I'm saying? But these niggas are huge. So I'm like, oh, you know who all that? She's like, oh, they play for the Steelers. I'm like, oh, how you know them? She's like, I fucked them before. I said, what? Like one of them? She's like, no, everyone that spoke to me. And I'm like, these niggas was looking at me like, oh, what's up, bro? Like with this, like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, yeah, I used to be, but I'm real discreet. Like, you'll never hear anybody, my name dragged through the mud. Like, I do all my stuff with discretion. I was like, yeah. In my head, I was like, bitch, if we don't fuck tonight, it's never happening. Because I'm not coming back. Like, I'm embarrassed. And these niggas is big D-linemen and shit, pulling guards, big as fuck. We go back to the crib. We facing each other like me and you, but closer. We talking and shit. I'm thinking we about to fuck, kissing on her. She's like, I want to do something. I'm like, well, what you want to do? I'm ready. Dick hard in a motherfucker. She's like, I want you to jerk off while I play with myself. We just watch each other until we come. Then we can just like take a shower or whatever. I was like, nah, we fucking? She was like, no, not right now. I was like, man, you crazy as fuck. Argued her down. Did it anyways. Because I was already in the game, you know what I'm saying?
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something. Jacked off, bust. We got in the shower, rubbed it on her butt a little bit. Then she jerked it off in the shower. We got dressed and I left. I never called her again. But I remember feeling Jeff Teague's pain when he was like, I walked in there and everybody was looking at her like, yo, I'm with Shorty, like, boo loving and shit.
I mean, it kind of makes it feel like you choose the 2 threesome chicks now. So it sounds like versus the 1 dude a year for 2.
I didn't. No.
Because it sounds like she did 1 dude a year.
She was doing one.
They just happen to be big.
She was doing 1 team a year. And they were like,
it makes me wonder about that because I'm like, dudes don't care who a girl chooses if that dude is doing better than you in life versus like girls caring about who was it. If you found out that your girl cheated on you with like a pro athlete, you'd be like, or a celebrity, you'd be like, all right, bitch. But if it's like a regular dude, like the Amazon driver, you like, you dirty. What is wrong with you? But if you go, oh my God, it was I don't know, Dwayne Wade. You're like, Dwayne, you fuck Dwayne.
But you know why that is? It's because our egos like, arguably, if I'm with a girl, that's why girls feel comfortable like doing them street interviews. And they're like, if you got a hall pass, who would you fuck? Like, I'd fuck Drake. I'd fuck Michael B. Jordan or whatever.
Right.
And the dude usually don't be mad. Like, my girl better never say that shit on camera in public, embarrass me. She better be like, I don't want nobody but him. But I see why them dudes kind of just be like, whatever. Because in their mind, they're like, objectively, I could see why she would do that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And us as men know that you don't have a fucking chance either of fucking him. So fantasize, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maranzio got a joke about that. Him and his girl talk about it.
Hall passes?
Yeah, hall pass. She picks like somebody. He's like, I know she can't. He's like, she got mad at me because I was like the bitch that works at the dry cleaners. Like, you could actually fuck her. He's like, yeah, that's the point of it. Like, I don't want a fake hall pass. Like, I want this really could come true. But that's why they always pick someone we know they can't get. So it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. But if your girl asks you that, you're like, who's your crush? She's like, oh, I want to fuck this person, Idris Elba. And you're like, oh yeah, I want to fuck the neighbor. You're in the doghouse, my nigga.
Who are you saying?
If I got a chance to fuck,
your girl say hall pass. Who you got?
I get one.
Your girl say, who's your hall pass? What's your hall pass name?
Oh, I'm gonna say Snow Allegra.
No.
I thought SZA. Because Snow Allegra is the one I would wife. SZA is the one I would like spit in her butt. Like that's a different. If it's just a one-time thing, I got to go with the nastier one.
Specific, man.
Yeah,
spitting in a butt is just.
I never did it before, but it seems like that's what she'll bring out of me.
That's what you just vomited out right now. Like that means you just impulsively are gonna geek out when you see.
Because I think with. So
are you saying your face is that close to her butt that you would just?
I'm doing nasty shit to her.
Okay.
Like I'm checking the fuck out. Like I'm taking a ecstasy pill.
Okay.
And like a half a fifth of tequila, and I'm just saying, bitch, have your way with me.
Have your way with me.
Yeah, fuck that. I wanted to talk about this. So I told you again, like when you was asking me about the military and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I said it on a pod when I said I got kicked out of the movie theater when they was laughing at the dude falling off the mountain.
Yeah.
Lone Survivor. So I always tell myself like not to watch those kind of movies because it triggers me. I haven't really watched a new one in a long time. Not one that was based in the place where I was fighting at.
Yeah.
Like I could watch some like Civil War shit or something. That's not relatable to me. So we used to watch Black Hawk Down the fight scene of Black Hawk Down before every single mission in Iraq the first time I went over there to get us hyped up. Like we'd go out there like we were about to mop these motherfuckers up if they even try some shit. Because if you've never seen the movie, basically they went out there underestimating the enemy, unprepared.
Oh yeah.
Thought it was just gonna be an in and out real quick. We back in the hour. Don't even bring the night vision goggles. This is about to be light work.
I watched that movie a lot and turned it off before the bad part.
And then they go out there and start getting cooked.
Yeah.
Because they're just on some bullshit. Like, so we used to be like, use this as a lesson to go out there ready. So we go out there tuned the fuck up, ready to fuck some shit up. So I haven't watched that movie in a long time, whatever. And I never fought in Mogadishu, but it is very similar to Iraq or Afghanistan. So Netflix just came out with a documentary this week called Surviving Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
I said, I'm definitely watching that. I want to get this scoop. They interview Rangers and Delta Forces. Delta Force is like the Army's equivalent of Navy SEALs.
Right.
They're the top Very similar. Like if you're a Navy SEAL or a Delta Force, you're equally fucking tough. Rangers are not even special forces, but they are tough. They're teaming up with these Delta motherfuckers. And when they start to show that the Ranger says, we're with Delta who are perfect. They don't make mistakes and they're dying. At that moment, I was like, I know I'm not making it out of this. These niggas are getting killed. And I was like, oh shit, hold on, bro. Like, cause when you watch Black Hawk Down, it don't tell you who's Delta and who's not. Like, they just give you the names of the people that died. And you're just like wondering who they are. About 30 minutes into one of the 3 episodes, I realized that I probably should still be in therapy. Because that shit triggered the fuck out of me, dog. Like, I was in the living room with all the lights off, just pacing around and shit, ready to fuck somebody up. I was like, this is not good for me, dog. Like, I can't watch it like this. But I was already into it, and I finished it out. And I'm like, I was like, nah, I can't do it no more, bro. I don't know why. That shit is so... It's like the PTSD just got ignited. The moment that fucking shit came on, I was like, what the fuck?
Does it make you want to get back in gear? Or does it make you want to, like,
yes,
let some shit off?
Makes me want to get back in gear and go send me on a mission.
Send me on a mission. Got it.
Where everybody over there is arguably assumed guilty and deserves to die. Not like where I got to use discernment. I want to go over there and be like, oh, he's running.
Okay. And then here locally, stateside, how many veterans are you around?
Did I actually? I mean, some.
In LA?
Yeah, Donnell Rollins is a veteran. He never went to
war.
war.
Like guys that you might run into consistently. Like yo, we actually chat about shit like this.
None.
Okay. Yeah.
And they have like groups and shit. When I go to the VA for my appointments, they're like, hey man, you want to join this little and I'm like, nah, fuck no. Because I will say this. I'm fucked up, but some of them people are like really fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember one time I was like, we were sitting in this group or whatever, like people telling the stories. This is how I knew I didn't have it as bad as them. The dude got real drunk. He lost his job or some shit. Started thinking about the war, having nightmares. Smashed the Hennessy bottle on the ground. It was a white dude. The fact that he was drinking the Hennessy already was a red flag. When he started the story, I'm like, you was drinking what? He was like, I had a 5th of Hennessy. I was like, okay, I see. This is not going to end well.
Continue.
Broke the fucking Hennessy after he finished the whole 5th. Had the top of it in his hand and just slit his wrist open with the shard glass.
Impressive.
Drove himself to the hospital, passed out as he's pulling into the ER, wrecked into some shit. They dragged him out. His blood everywhere in the car because this shit is just squirting out. They're like, they don't even know how he didn't die. They pulled him in. He showed me his wrist. Bro, it looked like someone put a table saw on this nigga shit. And he was like, yeah, I think about doing it again sometimes. Like, I never felt more alive. Nah. You was about to be not no more alive. Fuck you talking about. So I talk to people like that, and that's why I don't go to them groups because this is going to sound insensitive. I apologize. Some of the niggas just bitch ass niggas, and the shit that they're dealing with lets me know they didn't really deal with nothing growing up. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, in my unit, the niggas that we all grew up with, how I did, how you did, all in the ghetto and shit, seen our friends get killed, people get killed. That shit was happening over there. We was like, yeah, that's fucked up, bro. Can I get your computer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Some niggas came home like, I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't feel like that, but
no, it's just that's just different ways of growing up, and it's like I don't want to call it shelter, but they just don't know what action looks like in general. Like
so when it happens, this is their first experience.
It's shocking to them.
Yeah, so they come home and they're like,
PTSD to me was created for people who could not imagine life could get this bad.
And we just grew up in it.
Yeah, where I feel like, oh, life started off this bad. You see the other side of it, you go, do I deserve this? That's also kind of a trauma. We get to the good side of life and be like, what the fuck is the trap here? Because there ain't no way my life going this good. Like, don't nobody want to rob me or nothing. Like, you know, man, I used to make money, like, when I was a kid, like, teenager, make $40 in cash selling my little door-to-door sales job. I would get dropped off 2 blocks from my house and walk those 2 blocks from my house, think to myself, I'm not going to get to keep this $40. She dropped me off too far away from my house. Somebody going to rob me before I get to my house.
2 blocks away.
I was like, I'm going to get robbed for 2 blocks away from my house, dog. I ain't going to keep this $40. Every day I thought that. To the point where I would get off work with my $40, run home and think, I need to eat dinner and order pizza every day, delivery. I didn't want to go outside to get the food with my cash. You know, I could have left the cash at home, but I was like, man, I got $40. Pizza costs $12 plus delivery. I better spend the $15. Let me just bring it to my house. Every day. Because I was like, man, I'm made. I'm rich. I'm 13, 14 years old.
Oh, yeah. $40
a day.
A 40 ball a day?
Bro,
you could have got some pussy one of them
I
days.
gained 30, 40 pounds going into my 8th grade year. I came back to school big. And they was like, "Oh, you so fat now, John." I was like, "Man, I'm a boss, though.
I'm a boss.
I be ordering shit."
The thing for us in middle school was the kids were selling candy bars.
Oh yeah.
And there was this one nigga that had a van and would pick up the kids from our hood and take them to the mall or take them to the grocery store or whatever, and they could be out there soliciting and shit.
Absolutely.
And I remember my nigga's name was Lamont Milton. Is my man. His birthday is like exactly 1 week before mine. It was the 3rd of June. Mine was the 10th. And I remember he was the first nigga they recruited. And I thought like, you're about to get trafficked, bro. Like we thought like it was some like pedophile shit. It was like some niggas just picking up a bunch of kids in a van.
Go sell that shit.
I got candy bars for y'all to sell. Hey, nigga, I seen Unsolved Mysteries, bro. You're next. Right? So he picked him up and he was the first one. Was like, I'm poor. Like they grew up, he grew up in a project called Cornwall. That was a street name. And everybody's, we're all broke. It don't matter. The difference in my neighborhood, the top of the neighborhood, up the hill, because we got a lot of hills in our neighborhood, is the projects. The bottom is the valley. I'm from the valley. His house is down there, but everybody's on Section 8. It's not like we own the houses. Like my mom didn't even technically own her house. She scammed welfare. Like my grandmother bought the house. My mom was on welfare, like subsidized housing. And my grandmother was charging this crazy amount of rent. So Section 8 would pay her, but it was we lived there. So it was like, you know what I mean? My mom was doing a lot of wild shit. So it was like, we all were poor. But Mont was in the projects and they had roaches and it's the projects. You can't even help that. So he was like, I'm selling the candy bars. I just got to risk it. He was coming to school with new clothes, new shoes. I was like, bro, put me on. Bro. Like, I'm not getting shit. And I was so mad. And he was coming, he was a boss, like you said.
Yeah.
Every day, dudes picking him up and he was going to work. And I was like, nigga.
Yeah, boy, when you get in the school hallways and a girl asks you for John, can I get $1? You like, you know what, sweetheart? Go ahead, take this $1. Go ahead, buy yourself something. I'll send them girls to the school store with that $1. Like, John bought me this. I'm like, oh, this is a life. Tricking? Nigga, tricking at 13? Oh, you couldn't tell me shit.
The opposite was for me. Like, my 11th grade years when I started selling drugs. 10th grade, I got arrested for the gun. Did my probation, my house arrest and shit. When I got off, got 2 jobs or whatever. Was like, fuck this. Got in the streets. Started hustling, got locked up at the end of my 11th grade year. So I'll be going to school 11th grade, pockets full of money. Chicken tenders, nachos, ice cream.
Lunch line.
I'm balling out on the lunch line. You know what I'm saying? I'm living. So when I get knocked, I lose everything. I got to go live with my dad. Now we had a predominantly white school in the suburbs. I'm broke as fuck. And all them kids had a 20 on them. They get snacks every day. I'm eating a school lunch like it's prison and shit. So I don't remember the girl's name was a white girl. She liked me a lot. And part of me regresses a little bit because I just didn't know any better about like just being kind to people and treating people decent. I never was rude or nothing like that, but I was using her. She liked me and I didn't like her at all. But she was willing to every day buy me chicken tenders with cheese sauce and a lemonade. Every day.
You could have ate her ass once.
And she would, you want it? I'm like, you sure? No, I don't want to do that. I got it. Like, Mike, I got it. I'm like, it's nothing. My dad gives me $40 every day. Whatever. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was playing into it, but I'm like, I'm not don't even like taking gifts or nothing. But I was like, this white bitch is gonna pay for my shit. Like on some like, if it was a black chick, I would have never let her do it. It was a white girl, I'm like, fuck it. And I never gave her the time of day, nothing. And she never really came at me like that, but I knew she liked me. And I wasn't like, yo, let's go do something. She bought me chicken tenders and with cheese sauce and a lemonade every fucking day. From the time she started, it wasn't like the first day of school, but at some point for the rest of the school year, I just, thanks. Yeah, go back over there and be at the table with my boys and shit. Like, I'm getting tricked on. Niggas thought I was that nigga.
And they getting chicken and cheese every day.
Chicken and cheese with a lemonade, dog. Like,
Chapo.
Swear to God, bro. Just kingpin shit.
Hey, man. It's so funny how those little things like that made us feel like we were really doing it. Some extra food or extra $1 to spare. Bro, to use a vending machine at school, that was a flex. You walk in with a cold red Mountain Dew, they like, man, niggas out here buying Pepsi Blue and shit. What's going on?
Pepsi Blue.
I'm man got Pepsi Blue money
every
day.
Was you old enough to remember when Pepsi had that clear one that came out?
Yeah, bro. We tried everything back then.
That shit was crazy.
It was definitely poisoning us because none of that shit is legal anymore. I ain't seen none of them things ever since.
No, they got rid of that shit.
Bro, all that Mountain Dew, Pepsi, the little 8 quarter waters. They still sell quarter waters.
You bite the
yeah, you gotta bite into
like
the
little
metal
huggies.
Aluminum. Yeah.
They had different ones.
So my shit look like a fucking.
I would just squeeze the top and bust that shit.
Pause.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me ask you this: was there ever a point in your life where you saw somebody living well and it made you say, I need to get like that?
Oh God, yes, dude. Like when I tell you that, the way we grew up in a church. So, and it's status in church. I don't know if you know this, but like if you pour at church, you pour at church, and people can tell. We was the church members that got rides home from the other church members every night.
Oh yeah.
But we got mom and 5 kids, so it's 6 people that you gotta take home. So maybe people are going leaving church being like, "Let me go this way because I'm not about to take all 6 of them home. I can't fit them in my car."
Yeah.
People like avoid us walking out of the church. Like it'd be people with vans and like another.
Did y'all have a
mom
church van that would be picking people up?
Barely. It was like sporadic. It
Yeah.
wasn't very common. And St. Louis cold as shit. So like sometimes it'd be winter outside. We'd be like, "Yo, how we gonna get home?" And my mom would be like, "Lord to find a way." And I'm like, "The Lord to find a way." It
Is
is
this nigga
11
awake,
o'clock
bro?
at night.
Is he awake?
Bro, it was cold. And sometimes the church. So status wise, we was like everybody knew the grinds.
Fucking
They had to have
peasants.
it. Now the preacher's family usually is the family with the bread, right?
Yeah.
So it was obvious, but like we would see how those kids that were our age were living. And like just think like, damn, they got it. Even if it was the cousins of them, we see the cousins and be like, hey, even the cousins got money. This is crazy. Because they had nicer church clothes than us.
Oh yeah, that's the first time.
Like I was like, they got a suit. They wearing suits every time we get Easter is when you show out for church.
These niggas
That's
showing
when
out
you wear
every
your
Sunday.
best outfit. And that was the one day out the year that we get to wear like a nice outfit because we were sponsored by somebody. Some parent or church member would go, I'm gonna buy your son suits this year so y'all can wear a nice suit for Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Feel good.
they got that. We got that kind of treatment. Like, we don't want them to come this year with, so I'll take them to go get some suits this year.
Yeah.
So we was like, I go to these people buy us stuff, and then one of my godmothers, who I don't know how you get chosen godmothers for, but one of my godmothers was like, she had it. She worked for the government. I could tell she had a good
definitely had
job. So she took me to her house one day, like after church, because we had 2 services, one in the morning, one in the evening. So if you go to somebody's house after church, you just go back for the night service with them.
Yeah.
So my mom would let me go to my godmother's house. And when she drove me to the house first time, it took like 25 minutes to get there. That was my first thing. I was like, why is she driving so far from church to get to her house? Suburbs.
In the suburbs.
It didn't click back then. And now I'm like, oh my God, suburbs. When we got to her house, I'm like, what are these windy roads? And it was just a court, like a subdivision.
Yeah.
So I get to her house, she had her crib in a court. And I was like,
Cul-de-sac.
it's a little cul-de-sac. So I'm like, this is nice. And then she clicked the button.
This is nice.
Bro, she clicked the button and her garage opened. And I was like, we going in here? So she pull in there, bro. The garage come down. She got it upstairs. My mind is still blown. Like, you got it up. Like, every time I go over her house, I was just like, this is not normal. Bro, downstairs it was a TV, 72-inch TV with DVDs and movies. I said, DVDs back then? DVDs,
Yeah.
VCRs. I'm just like, can you just take me? I remember thinking, I wanted to ask her. I was like, can you just, my mom got 5 kids. I could just stay with you,
She
maybe.
won't miss one.
Bro, like I was, and she worked for Dillard's at the time. So she'd take me to church, take me home to her house. I watched a movie in between shows. And she, you know what? Let's go to my job real quick. Bought me 7 pairs of Jabots. I had every color of Jabots, shirt and bottom.
Damn.
She said, what do kids like nowadays? I was like, Jabots. They're like, we like Jabots. She said, okay, well, I can get all this shit like half off. So,
Racked up.
boy, I came back to school. I was like, you niggas can't tell me. The first day of school, orange Jabots. I was like, they ain't gonna say shit to me today, nigga. Now, it turns out that she didn't buy me the shoes I needed.
So you still got ripped on.
I had a white classic Reeboks with my Jabots. Not the Air Forces in St. Louis. White classic Reeboks. They were like, but it was the wrong Reeboks. It wasn't the Lil Wayne Reeboks. It was the nursing home Reeboks.
Oh.
So I didn't know which ones to get.
Damn, you ain't do your fucking due diligence, nigga. You set yourself up.
You know how poor people be. Nigga, you like, I'm just happy to be here. I had the fresh outfit. But yeah, watching that made me go like, oh, these are how people live. Like, this is a different lifestyle. I went back home after church, the second service, and I go,
Hate it here.
I share a bedroom with my other 2 brothers. There's 3 brothers in one bedroom. I'm trying to tell them about this fucking Narnia place I just came from. Like, yo, man, they had an upstairs and a downstairs. There was a bedroom downstairs, a bedroom upstairs. And you could control the temperature of the house. And we opened the fridge. It was water bottles and Gatorade. They was just like, oh, you ain't bringing that shit here. And I'm like, I can't even know what I can take.
I can't in my
I
pocket.
can't leave a hotel. I like bagging it. Bro, it was eye-opening. That's one of the first times I realized, like, oh, so everybody don't live like this? That's crazy.
Just so, and that was she's black, right?
Black,
So
yeah.
for me, it was like, and this is when I kind of got introduced to like proximity of things.
Yeah.
So I told you my senior year, I had to go live with my dad living in a suburb. They didn't even live there when I got sent with him. Like I got arrested and I had to go stay when we still lived in a hood and he was in the process of moving out there. So we all moved out there together, you know what I mean? And we're all figuring this out together as we, you know what I mean? So I met friends at school, but it was mostly the white kids because it was a predominantly white school, whatever. I learned about fucking rock bands and shit and Insane Clown Posse.
Absolutely.
And these niggas was hooking up Honda Civics and shit with the big wiffle ball bat mufflers and shit and all that. Yeah, so I'm learning about all this shit. I'm open to it. I had a couple of black friends, but only like 2. And then I would hang with these dudes, and it was twin brothers, Jeff and Jason Leonard, and they had a first cousin. I think their dads were brothers, named Tim Leonard. Me and Tim were closer because he was in a lot of my classes. I ended up getting Tim a job at my job later, so I fuck with him, he fuck with me. So I remember this day like it was yesterday. He invited me to the Super Bowl. I believe it was the one where Brady ended up coming in when Bledsoe got hurt. The winter of, like, it would have been the beginning of 2002.
2002, yeah.
That's the one where Brady took over.
Yeah, well, the Rams could have got another one, but he took it from us, so yeah.
So, all right, so yeah. I remember him inviting me to his house for the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I'll come, whatever. I didn't know what to expect. Because in school, they didn't dress like, you couldn't gauge how well they were doing by how they dressed because they didn't dress like that.
Yeah, white kids, yeah.
So you just see him like, you got the same shit I got on. Like, you know, and I got to his house and I was thinking like, y'all live here? And the twins and him, their dads bought houses like right next door to each other. The end of the street cul-de-sac. Their dads own I think the twins' dad, I think he had like a plumbing company, and the other dude, Tim, his dad, I think was like heating and cooling or whatever. But they had businesses. But I'm like, oh my fucking God, y'all got all this space to yourself. They're like, yeah. Like, I came in and I remember just talking to them, and I was too young to grasp it at the moment, but as I got older, I reflected back and remember some of the stuff I was saying to them, or like how impressed I was by shit. They were thinking like, this kid must not have shit.
Yeah.
Like, because why is this a big deal to him? Like,
you can't even hide.
They had a computer in the house. I'm like, y'all got a computer? You allowed to be on this shit? Like, he was like, yeah, I got AOL and Messenger. I was like, damn, I don't even got an account because we don't got a computer. For real? I'm like, yeah, no, like, this is, and I remember thinking like, I gotta get I cannot, I can't repeat this cycle that my parents were putting me through because this is ridiculous. And just sitting there, and I remember they're like, yo, you want to eat? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'll eat. They're like, all right, what you want? I'm like, well, whatever you're making. They're like, nah, you tell us, we got this, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
bro,
this is crazy. And they made this shit.
Is humbling as hell.
It wasn't, and what I realized in that moment, I remember this like yesterday, was like, so now like, there's like suicides, depression, all this anxiety, all this is like increased more now than when we were growing up, and even before that. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're diagnosing stuff improperly, whatever. And I'm like, some of it is real, but it's because comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. I
wasn't around anybody that lived like that. So us being broke, everybody I knew lived like that. It was normal.
Know that it was not common to have this way of eating. Like eating noodles was like, yeah, eat noodles tonight. And
nigga, we get noodles, good shit.
Eat them dry sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Eat a hot dog, one hot dog, like hot dogs and noodles, shit like that. You thought that was just normal dinners, delicacies.
Yeah, I go to my boy's house, live in the projects. I know it's gonna be hot than a motherfucker in there because the heat is not regulated. Like,
not regulated.
So I'm like, we just accept it. It never made us feel bad because we all went to school amongst each other. We all had the same stuff. It was like, you might have one friend that had a little bit more, but not enough for you to been like, I hate my life.
Yeah, like one of them might have the J's.
He'd be like, oh, he got a PlayStation. He got the new game or something. Like, oh, we come over your house and play the game. And that was it. That was our boy. We played. It was not like that. Bro. Seeing that was the first time I was like, oh, this is why niggas be depressed, because social media.
You
go on social media and be like, damn, she's in Dubai. Damn, this nigga just bought a new chain. He got a Rolls Royce. I got this fucking Tesla. I got this. I want to kill myself because you're looking at everybody else. And I'm like, damn, but seeing that, and this is how also where I knew how broke I actually was, because years later, I went on Google Maps to look to his crib because I was like, I want to see if it's as nice as I remember it when I pulled up and was like, damn, this is you. Just like how you pulled up in a garage. But if you looked at the house now, you probably like, my house is better than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I looked at their house, I was like, what? Look at my house is way nicer than both these motherfuckers put together.
Oh, your adult self saw the house.
Yeah, my adult self. I went back on Google to see, like, is it what I remember? And I'm like, that's how broke we were, that what they had to me felt like they were like some bosses. And again, that's why they were probably looking at me like, why is he so impressed?
You know,
we're middle class.
You know what's crazy about? I'm about to say that right now is that once you get to middle class, you don't really think that you're in middle class. You just think that you're not as broke as you used to be.
Yeah, you don't categorize.
I didn't think about the things that I have currently, and I go, like, I be thinking about, I see a family walking down the street, like at a bus stop, and I be like, damn, niggas still catch the bus. But I be saying in my head, just like matter of factly, I don't be judging.
Yeah,
my
you're just like,
don't even click like, why would they be catching buses if they just go get a car? And that's how people think and you'd be like, what the fuck kind of stupid ass question is that? But you realize that they so far away from your life that they can't possibly imagine there's a different way of living.
Yeah.
And so when I got from the hood to like, oh, I bought myself a Lexus. When I got out to LA, I bought a Lexus. I was like, damn, yeah, fuck all that broke shit. But I remember thinking that at the time. But I remember thinking like, that I thought it was normal to have a car. After I got my first car in LA, I was like, I'm never gonna not have a car here.
Yeah.
But then I forgot that the buses are still rolling, trains are still rolling, Uber still work. Everybody's still 9 cars. And you think to yourself like, oh, I'm just doing good enough that I ain't gotta not have a car.
Yeah, but
then you get a house and you go, oh, we're just doing not good, we're doing good enough that we just happen to get a house. But then you realize like, oh, niggas is renting. A lot of people are renting. Everybody renting. And you like, oh, so you like in the middle class, not even accepting it. Because you like, I'm so realizing that I ain't know niggas.
Because the middle class is the range is so wide. You know what I mean?
I know people that's doing crazy better than me. I'm like, that's still middle class? We must not be middle class. We just on like the edge tier of get the fuck back down.
Because like upper class, like if there's someone who has $1 million in their savings account, right? Let's just say they make $200,000 a year.
That's wealthy.
They are in the same circles as someone who's a billionaire, or maybe not billionaire, but who has $100 million.
Yeah, 1%.
They're going to the Ritz-Carlton. They're going like, so they're around them same people. So it's like that million versus 100 million is still, we're doing the same things pretty much.
Absolutely.
Us, it's like, man, you could be doing something, and there's other people that ain't even fucking around us, but they're technically still middle class.
Bro, it's kind of like followers. It's like you might get your 1K and you're like, oh my God, I got 1K. And you might get 5K, like you got 5K, but it's a 200K club, it's a million follower club.
Yeah.
But you so far away from the million follower club, you think you like, that's just a separate world. But it's like, you closer to the million follower club people than you are the 500 follower people.
Like, think about it. How many followers you got? Like 5,000? 4,000?
I'm at 3,000. 3.1.
So I got 200 and some thousand, right? Low 200s, right?
Yeah.
No, but think about it. When I'm talking to you or nothing, like we're like, I'm not even thinking about like, oh, I got way more followers. I'm not even thinking about that. But when I see someone like Tahir or like Cara or Tony, Baker or whatever, I'm like, these niggas got crazy following, like.
Absolutely.
But like you said, I'm probably more closer to them than I am to you.
I think it was 1K with 3K.
But I don't see it like that.
Absolutely. I'm like, if I had 200K, I'm set. I'm really a stay-at-home day. I'm staying home for real. Like, but at 3K, you gotta be like, nigga, you better go put in a shift. like you better go do something. But 200K is closer to a milli than it is 3K.
Yeah, getting there. Even though numbers-wise it's not, because it's 800,000 away, but I'm only 197,000.
200K is closer to a million than it is 3K.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Possibility-wise, but not like metric, like, you know.
Yeah. It is harder for me to get to 200K than it will be for you to get to a million.
Yeah, but
and that's insane.
You're only 197 away from me.
Exactly.
And I'm 800,000 away from them.
Absolutely.
But that could probably happen first than this.
Because they going to see your 200K, the strangers, and go, well, somebody else believes. I'm jumping on the ledge.
Yeah.
I got a viral video, and they go, that nigga hilarious. They go to 3,000 people. That was one off. He got lucky.
Yeah.
The judgment off the first impression is crazier.
Yeah.
That's kind of how wealth works. It's like when you rich, you want to show that you're rich or do something subtle. Like, oh, look, I got a Rolex on, blah, blah, blah. But when you wealthy, you be like, I ain't doing shit. I'm wealthy. I ain't got to show y'all that. Well, it's just quiet.
A lot of people, I've heard, like, I watch all this, like, entrepreneur shit and people, and a lot of people say, like, they're going to, like, a business deal or whatever. They're broke. They'll spend money they don't really have to show up in a car or rent a suit or something that makes them look like I deserve to be here.
Absolutely.
Because that helps them get the deal that's going to put them where they think they should be. Absolutely. Instead of showing up and be like, I don't know this dude. You know what I mean?
I do that. I still do that.
Yeah.
I will agree to do something, a gig, anything, and they'll put me in the hole just because I think that, well, if I was there in that room, I can probably create a connection that might pay me dividends later.
So let me ask
I'll
you.
lose money on a simple trip, simple opportunity, just because I'm like, it's worth it being there.
Let me ask you this.
Later.
If you go do a show, right? You said this kind of earlier about the first time you did the show with Tone. You booked the bullshit hotel, whatever, and he had you at somewhere nicer. Let's say you get booked for a show. You get to the city, whatever. You got to get a room.
Yeah.
If you're tight, you're strapped for cash, but you think there's a possibility that the people are going to be picked, like you're getting picked up by someone that makes a difference. Do you spend extra money to be at like the West End or some shit or the W, Or do you be like, yeah, I'm at the Red Roof Inn over here?
Okay, so to me, it's called opportunity cost. Would I want to stay at a nice hotel if I think that I would run into somebody that would make them go, this guy's doing well, and I can connect with him?
Like, you're going to meet an agent, and they're going to pick you up at the hotel to take you wherever.
I would pay the opportunity cost for that weekend.
And say, I'm staying at the Westin. Oh, where you staying at? Oh, I'm at the Westin downtown.
I'm there too. I was like, we're actually going to grab coffee down there. Me and the other guy. Oh, you and the other partners. Oh, I'll be like, you don't know what could happen from you saying the same shit as somebody else. Like, oh, wow, you're there too? We should all do this. The opportunity cost you spent going in the hole, okay, but you find out that you met your future lawyer, your future agent, your future manager all in the same meeting. And it's like, yeah, that was worth it. Because they're going to give me more money because I was there. We just not there. Like I said, Kev be there. Kev shows up, and at the right place, right time, the connections happen. I always take the chance of I'll be there and not be there.
So I'm going to tell you why I brought that up, right? Because recently when I, looking for the new place.
Yeah.
So I remember on Gary Owen's podcast a while back, he was telling a story. I forget who he had on there, but he was saying, it might have been David Arnold that he had on there. And David said no matter where he goes, he's always flying first class and he's always staying at one of the top hotels, whatever. Like, I don't know if you know this because you're not headlining, but I mean, I'm not saying that like I'm doing it either, but from this interview, I guess the headliners, like with Tony, they give him a room or he can take a cash out, a buyout, and just get the money and then apply that to whatever room he wants to stay in.
I've headlined a few times. Yeah.
So David said, I always take the buyout. Gary was like, me too. And I always stay at like the Four Seasons or some shit. He's like, why do you do that? And that's what David asked Gary. And he was like, because I feel like you got to put yourself in, you got to view yourself as worth that. Because if you put yourself in some bullshit, it's like you'll feel that way. And he was like, he gave an example. He said, this feature he had, Gary, a while back, guess the nigga fucked up the plane ticket and got the ticket where he was going to be there a day early. And so if he gets there the right day, he's in the hotel with Gary, the nice hotel, whatever. But he gets there a day too soon. And he's like, I don't really got the money. Like, they got me at this hotel. Like, I think there's bugs and shit in here. Like, it was like some bullshit. And he's like, why did you do that? Like, why didn't you just spend the extra $100 or whatever and stay at this? It's only one night. Like, stay at this hotel. You'll feel better. You'll wake up. You'll feel better about yourself. He was like, never stay in a place that's going to make you feel like shit, or, you know what I mean? He was like, because the way you view yourself, that's how others are going to view you. And he was like, spend the extra money. You trust me, in 6 months from now, a year from now, that $100 extra, it's not even going to fucking matter.
Dude, I did a hotel when I was in Indianapolis, bro. I stayed at the nicest hotel there just for a show. It was a block away from the
Ramada Inn.
Conrad. It was that's how fancy it was, called the Conrad. I was like, it had like old Victorian paintings and shit. Yeah. And I think I might have even been, I've done the headline show there, but I think I was featuring or something that weekend. I was like, you know what? It don't even matter, because if you see me staying here, you gonna be like, you staying at the Conrad? Like, yeah. Where y'all staying at? Oh, I'm at the Hilton. Oh, that's great. That's what's up. Like, no matter what I do, it's gonna feel like, I think it must be a big deal staying at the fucking Conrad.
That's what I was
like,
saying.
You have to make sure people understand that it's like, oh, there's levels to everything I do. Even if I'm opening, I'm doing it nicely. Because I ain't gonna lie, watching Tone book everything, I used to try to get value from places I stayed. And my brothers worked for Hilton, so I used to get crazy Hilton hookups. I always stayed in nice hotels. I never really stayed in like low-end hotels. But that one weekend, I was like, well, I ain't got it. I'm just gonna book this bullshit. Because it was at the comedy club that was there. It's Nate Jackson's club. It's in a hotel. The old one is. And so I was like, I just booked the room there. He's like, no, I ain't staying there. I was like, oh, okay. But
it is a ranky ass
after
hotel.
that, it was. After that, I was like, oh, you know what? I do got to get my mind right. I do got to take a shower for a show. I do got to do everything I want to do. My process has to be clean.
I want to be comfortable.
Exactly. I want to feel walking out of this hotel like I'm finna go kill this shit. And so like I was like, I'm never gonna compromise that again. No matter where I stay, whatever city I'm in, I want to know that the room or place I'm staying is like, oh, this place Gucci. Now I can just focus on the show. That's what it's about. It's saying that I got a peace of mind here.
Yeah, to go in to do my best.
Don't worry about my show only.
When I got booked to do that private birthday event in Antioch 2 years ago, for the dude Saya Collective, the dude who owns the shoe company.
Yeah,
you might not know him, black dude, but
I've heard of it.
He booked me, James Davis, Jay Phillips, Just Niche, T-Bar. He booked the 5 of us to do this show, and then he had like some local people. Me and Jay Phillips were on the same flight going up there together. We're flying all into San Francisco. Niche is coming from Chicago. T Barber's coming from Detroit. And James is coming from out LA, I believe, but not with us. He's on a separate flight. So we're all coming from different places or whatever. But me and Jay Phillips are going together. We get to San Francisco. The ride is an hour to Antioch. So we get he paid for us to get a rental. We drive up there or whatever. We're at a hotel. It's not ran down, but it's not Marriott or nothing. It's like some Holiday Inn or some bullshit, right?
Right.
And I remember getting my room and my rug was wet. Like I was stepping, I could feel like squishing. I was like, absolutely not. And I went out like, no, change my room. They gave me another room and I ended up getting bit by bed bugs and I'm being livid. And I remember Jay Phillips saying, it wasn't the dudes being cheap. It's just that's a small ass area. They don't got no nice hotel. He put us probably in the best shit that's in that area. He was like, if I knew it was gonna be like this, I would have stayed in San Francisco at the Marriott or whatever, and me and you could have drove up, did the show, and then just drove back the next day, like right after the show. Fuck, it's only an hour.
Yeah, there's some cities that told me like, why would I stay here?
Yeah, like when you're telling the story about the Benny the Butcher, like we're driving back to Chicago, I'm not staying in Milwaukee, like, and I was like, the fuck were y'all, like, that's not even the same state, like, but it's like, I'm not staying in this hotel. And he told me that, and he was like, I always stay in the best because, and I started learning from them guys and was like, oh, that's how I gotta be. So, and I said, I brought all that because when I was looking at these new places, I went to a few, the ones downtown were shit. Like, I didn't look inside. Outside was bums everywhere shooting up. I'm like, fuck no.
When you said that, you was thinking about downtown, I was like, that is where we part, nigga. I am not going downtown. Fuck all that shit. And
so when I got to the one in Hollywood, I looked at it. The building was like kind of dated, but the units were new.
Yeah.
But I didn't see inside yet. I just scoped the outside because I do like reconnaissance. Then when I went to the one that I'm ended up getting on Sunset, I went in there, I looked at one, it was smaller, and I'm like, this might be too small. Like, I'm downsizing, but nigga, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, just show me another one. And they showed me a bigger one. I was like, what's the price difference? They told me, I was like, yeah, I want to do this one. And in my head, I was like, I did all the math on it. I was like, the price difference a week from the smaller unit that's very uncomfortable to this one was like $52 a week. Like,
is your piece worth $52 a week?
If you can't come up with $52 a week to be comfortable, then you don't belong out here. And that's what I said to myself. And I just filled out the application and everything and should hear back something tomorrow.
Middle class math right there. $52 extra a week. I'll pay it.
I have to, because everything is money. I look at money as perspective.
Yeah.
If you say I'm flying to, let's say, DC, right, for a show, this Spirit flight is $250.
48.
Or
there you go.
Or this American flight is Charger that you can plug your phone in and shit is $350, right?
Yeah.
I'll look at it and be like, okay, that's $100 more. But then I say Spirit's bags are $50 a piece. So that's $100 more. So now that $250 is actually $350.
Yeah.
The Delta or American, them bags are $35 or $30. So let's just say $70.
Right.
So now that $350 is $420. It's like $70 more to fly that comfortable, nice, or save $70. Like, what the fuck is $70? Then you land, you spend $35 in the airport on junk food. You're like, was it really worth it? And I learned that I used to always try to penny pinch and end up burning myself later by doing. So I'm like, just don't get the shit right the first time.
Even the airline purchase now, I bought a fucking main fare, no saver shit, because you can't edit that shit in a comedy or in touring.
Oh, yeah.
You can't buy that non-changeable fare, and you will fuck your whole weekend up trying to, a show get canceled, and then you try to call American Airlines like, hey, I bought the cheapest fare, and it's like, well, nigga, that's just our money now. And you're like,
yeah, you're burnt.
Giving away $150 because you want to save $10. It's like, pay the main fare, bro.
Okay. What you got going on shows-wise? Not this weekend, because by the time this comes out, it'll be gone next weekend.
All I can talk about right now, I'm still thinking about St. Louis. St. Louis, March 14th, and San Diego, House of Blues with Tony Rock, March 8th. Yeah.
March 8th. Yeah, so I already mentioned, the beginning of March, I'll start promoting the shows we got for April and May and June or whatever, but someone commented on one of our reels and was like, I'll be at that Sacramento show, nigga. And I was like, the fuck?
Is it up?
I mentioned it on the podcast. I was like, I ain't got the dates yet, but I'll be in Sacramento, Phoenix, San Diego. And that nigga commented on the reel and said, I'm at the Sacramento show. which let me know he must have watched the whole episode because that was at the end of the episode.
Shout out.
When I sent it. So shout out to you guys. We're going to wrap it right there, man. Have a blessed week, man. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.